It's mid-November, so naturally we're here to talk about Duke football.
That's not natural about that.
There's nothing natural about that. Welcome into the Sporting News Studios. I'm Tom Vandervoort with Matt Crossman, our man about town. And Matt, you're always out there finding cool stories, and this is a pretty cool story about Duke football.
It is. It's one of the more heartwarming, I think is probably the right word, stories that I've come across in my career regarding Blair Holiday and the accident that he went through, but more important than that, the healing that he's been through, and also that of his teammate Jamison Crowder.
So just tell us briefly what happened and what the result was.
Well, it's hard to tell briefly, but I'll try. 4th of July, Jamison and Blair and a bunch of other Duke football players and some Duke volleyball players went for a day on the lake, not too far from here in Charlotte, and there was an accident with the jet skis, and Blair had a very traumatic brain injury, was not in a coma, but non-responsive for about a month. And as you would expect, Jamison Crowder,
yeah,
it's a long time. Jamison Crowder, the other young man involved in the accident, felt terrible about it. And Blair's parents thought they were going to lose Blair, and Blair's mom could not stand the idea that she would lose her son and that Jamison's life would be, I don't think ruined is too strong of a term, at least deeply impacted by this. So she summoned Jamison essentially to the hotel or to the hospital where Blair was, and grabbed him and hugged him and said, I love you, and you need to move past this.
And this was before he began to recover. So she thought that she was probably going to lose her son.
Yeah, he was in intensive care, and the doctors told her he was the sickest person there, first of all, which is a scary thing. I mean, it's bad enough to be in intensive care, but he caught pneumonia on top of that, and the family was calling their relatives to say, you might want to come and say goodbye to him.
Now, you also talked to Coach David Cutcliffe about the impact this incident has had on the team. Tell us about that.
And frankly, not only on the team, but on him personally. He told me, this was a couple of weeks ago, he said, I don't know what's going to happen in the rest of these 4 games. It's unimportant, to be honest with you. And because he was talking about the relationships and staying true to those relationships that they had built through this was what was important. But for a college football coach to say, it doesn't matter if we win or lose, that frankly that just doesn't happen.
And the other interesting thing for Duke is they did beat their arch rival North Carolina, and the key player in that game was
Jamison Crowder. Yeah, after all that healing he went through, then he has just a great happy ending. And I asked him, to sort of if he could even grasp all of this stuff that had gone on in his life, and he said, no. That touchdown was one of the greatest moments of his life. It's inarguably one of the greatest moments in Duke football history. And here this kid who had been devastated by the accident got to enjoy that, that joy of making that play. And he said, I'm still speechless about it. It was 2 weeks after.
And Blair Holiday seems to be making quite an impressive recovery too.
He is. I don't think you would say he's 100% back, but I mean, he's walking and talking, and he seems like to his friends, maybe not 100% Blair Holiday, but maybe 90% saying.
Right.
So yeah, relative to where he was, I mean, they thought he was going to die. Nobody thought he was going to wake up. And he is, walking, talking, hopes to start class in January.
And finally, I know they've lost their last couple of games, but Duke still controls its own destiny here. They could still get to the ACC championship game.
Yeah, I mean,
which is kind of crazy talk.
It's not kind of crazy talk. It's total crazy talk. Duke to be in the, in the ACC championship game would be just a monumental upset. Now they've got to beat Georgia Tech and they've got to beat Miami, but you didn't think they would have beat UNC either. And I guess you got to wait to see how it plays out. But the impact of all of this on that Duke football team it's a big revitalization.
Absolutely. All right, that's Matt Crossman with an incredible story. Duke University football. I'm Tom Vandervoort. Thanks for watching.